If you are interested to be a game teacher or game provider, this is the tutorial that you should watch. Additionally, if you are interested to offer the exclusive multiplayer VR games and experiences, we will explain all the steps you should do in order to install the multiplayer VR games in your VR headsets for free. Since the multiplayer VR games require from our real-time multiplayer game servers to run, it's necessary that you place a digital identification key that we will provide you in the devices that are going to participate in the multiplayer game. First, access your profile. Next, you have to become provider. Here you have multiple options. You can purchase energy to provide services for a period of time. Then, you need to fill your profile with the description you want your customers to know, and also you can upload pictures about the game hardware you own or previous services that you have done in order for the customer to know you. So, these are the only actions you need to take if you are only interested to offer traditional gaming to your customers. In the next part, we are going to focus on explaining everything about VR so you can offer to your customers exclusive multiplayer VR content. Before starting, the current available headsets supported are Oculus Quest and Lenovo Mirage Solo. They both allow 6 degrees of freedom technology that will be essential to offer an exclusive content to your customers. So, back to the app, in the profile section, select Provider Profile, and then press Rent a Real-Time Multiplayer Server. In this section, we will create the digital identification key you need to have access to our servers and rent a real-time multiplayer game server. First, you have to become a VR party provider, so press this button. The digital key system works linked to your mobile phone number, so only you have access to your own multiplayer game server. In this screen, you have to provide your phone number alongside the email where you want that we send you your digital identification key. Once you press the button Register as VR provider, an SMS will be sent to you. You should open it and press the link to verify your identity. Once we have verified your identity, the digital identification key will be sent to your email. Now you can go back to the app and rent a real-time multiplayer game server for the period of time that you want to give service to your customers. As a limited summer 2019 promotional offer, all new providers get up to 1 month of a real-time multiplayer game server for free. To get that, you only need to tweet a message with the hashtag VR4free to ATArcade. We will get in touch with you and give you access to our multiplayer game servers for free for 1 month. Now we are going to explain the steps you have to do to install the games and place the digital identification key in your VR headsets in order to run the exclusive content. First of all, you have to download the ADB Tools. These tools will be used to run batch scripts that will automatically install all the games in a matter of seconds. The best option is that you search about minimal ADB download, so you are only downloading what you need for the current case. Next, you have to set the headset and any other device where you are going to install the games in developer mode. In the description I provide links to video tutorials explaining that. Now we are ready to install the games. First, download and unzip the package with all the games and configurations from our website. The link is in the video description. Next, rename all the files with the extension .brparty with your phone number. Then go through all bat files named pushkey.bat and replace the phone number with your own. Now open your digital identification key and copy all its contents. Next, go through all the .brparty extension files and replace this string with the one that you just copied in the last step. Then connect either an Oculus Quest or a Lenovo Mirage Solo to your computer. Now run the install all wallsense.bat if you are installing the games on Lenovo Mirage Solo, or install all quest.bat if you are installing them on Oculus Quest. Finally, we have to push our digital identification key to the root of the file system of the devices so the apps can locate it. To do that, we need to run these files. Before testing that, make sure that you have rented a real-time multiplayer game server. If you get the summer 2019 promotion, get in touch as described before for your free month. So now you are ready for a first test. Let's start with the cars experience. Before loading the app, place a marker in the floor that will be the starting position to enter the VR world. Stand on the marker and load the application. When it has finished of loading, you can remove the headset and ask the customer to put the headset while standing in the marker. Talking about loading the app, locate the car's 6 degrees of freedom experience and select it. It will request the permissions in order to work, so allow the permission required, and in the case of Oculus Quest, it will start automatically. In the case of Lenovo Mirage Solo, you will need to run the app again in order to start it. The first thing the app will do is to check if the digital identification key has access to the real-time multiplayer service. If it has access, it will load the graphic resources required for the game. This loading process of graphic resources will only be done once. You won't have to worry again of this step. Once you are in the game, you can remove the VR headset and give it to your customer while he is standing at the marker. As soon as the customer has put the headset, he will be in the game, so no menus, no screens, no tutorials or any boring stuff. You are guiding your customer straight to the fun. The key of arcade experience is not to waste a second of users' time in useless stuff, so this is the optimal way to do it. Repeat the process with as many headsets as you have. That was the basic testing, but you will also need another device connected to the game to tell all the players connected that the multiplayer room is closed and that the game logic can start. For the next step, we need to have an Android tablet or a smartphone. First, we make sure that the device is in developer mode. We go back to our batch scripts and we locate install all no ercore.bat and we run it. If everything goes as planned, all the games will be installed in that device. Finally, we need to push our digital identification key also to this device, so run pushkey.bat. So now we are ready to start the app that will allow us to close the multiplayer room so the game can start. Again, repeat the operation to start the VR headset as previously explained. But now the last device you have to run is the one that we have just used. By starting the app in that device, aside from closing the room, you will have control over what your customers can see. This level of control will be different depending the kind of application. For example, for the case of the cars, you will be able to switch the cars your customers are watching just by pressing these buttons. There are more things to explain, like allow spectators to see the VR action or change the scale of movements in the VR world, and many more things. We will explain that things in other tutorials. For the moment, you have enough knowledge to offer a unique experience never seen before to your customers. The most important thing you need to remember right now is that with this system, you won't waste any second of your customers' time. By experience, we know that we cannot afford to keep waiting the customers while we set up the game up and running. Setting up the game for the customers could be bad for current single-player games, but it's far worse for multiplayer games. Depending how much you plan to invoice your customers, they won't like it if they have to wait until they get into the game. We have prepared everything, so you only need to start the app and wait around 30 seconds until the game is ready to give it to the customer. Once the app is loaded, the customers can remove their headset at any time and give it to other customers. The only thing the new customers have to do in order to enter the VR world is to stand on the marker and put the VR headset there.